Hello! So it is the first day of the dabbling week, and it's already like 7 p.m. because I got home from work and I was like, well, I'm just going to take a shower, eat my dinner, and then I'll be able to focus for the rest of the evening. And then I got sidetracked naturally by a YouTube video. So first of all, if you're not familiar, this is a language quest week. So I have sort of a series on this channel where we do language projects for a week every other month, and they have a rotating theme. You can adopt the theme as much or as little as you would like. The theme this week is dabbling. So, you know, whether people want to pick one language to dabble in for the whole week, dabble in a different language every day, anything in between. There was a bingo card to use if it sparked joy. My languages that I am most interested in right now, aside from the ones that I'm actively learning, are Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, Arabic, and Portuguese. Just in the past few days, to be honest, I keep seeing things on my Instagram, so we're gonna watch some Portuguese because I want to, and I do think I'll be able to understand quite a bit because of Spanish. So, but I'm gonna do my French now because, again, I'm in a good routine. I don't want to mess that up, so we're gonna stick with that.
Pero en TikTok, máis de metade dos comentarios son bastante negativos, de un enfoque que eu non entendo.
You've reached the officer. Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you.
Hi, this is Senator Sharon Brown. Thank you for your call today. To speak to a member.
Thank you for calling the Washington, D.C. office of Senator Van.
For some reason, I'm having the hardest time dabbling. Like, I keep thinking of things to do, and then just by default they're in Spanish. Like, I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's multiple years of trying to do everything in Spanish. So, like, I get it, but, like, it's really funny because I keep, you know, the rest of the time I'll see things that are in other languages and I'll be like, oh, you know, like, I do want to watch that sometime, but, like, not right now. And then, like, now that I'm trying to watch them, I'm like, there's just nothing. Like, there's nothing that I want to watch, despite having saved many things in other languages. So I just need to find some of them and watch them. Let's try this.
Qualquer coisa de triste? Qualquer coisa que chora? Qualquer coisa que sente saudade?
Okay, I have no chill and I couldn't deal with not having both subtitles, so we've switched to the laptop setup. Hello! So it is Tuesday. I have very exciting mail. I got stickers. I've been impatiently waiting for, you know, a week or whatever. For some reason they sent one of them separately. They got here on the same day. I got stickers because I have this e-reader case. I want cute stickers. I, you know, kind of wanted to be like a, you know, Kindle girly and have the clear case, if you've seen where people have the clear case and then the stickers behind it, but I must have a cover on the screen. I do not want to scratch the screen in my bag, and so I'm hoping that, you know, good vinyl stickers will stick to this, but we shall see. Okay, well, I don't know how I feel about this. I like the front, I think. We have coffee and a cat that looks like a mouse from a distance, I'm realizing now. Oh well. The back feels a little unbalanced. We have Free Palestine and a little cat. I'm having like a weird week or so where work has been like a lot, like just mentally, like, not, I don't know, that sounds really weird. It's not like, oh, I have such a difficult job, like, I don't, but whenever I have to like talk to people like all day at work or be really involved, I always find it much more difficult to do other things with my day also, you know, like I will struggle to listen to my audiobook on the way home because my brain will just be going, you know, and so I'll find myself tuning it out. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's not great timing, but on the other hand, it kind of is good timing because I can just, you know, take it easy this week and just do experimentation and, you know, do whatever. So, you know, we'll see. That show that I was watching last night is gorgeous. Like, the visuals of that show are stunning. And I did end up doing some Duolingo also in Portuguese just for kicks and giggles. And I took the test, you know, because obviously Spanish and Portuguese are very similar. God, it's so windy outside. And I tested out of like the first level or the first unit, I don't know. So yeah, it is like 6 o'clock, so I have time to do some things. Okay, I am catching the bug. This was such a busy week and I just like haven't had that much time to do stuff this week. You know, obviously I've done some stuff here and there, but it is Saturday and so I'm finally, you know, able to get into stuff. And so I did my Duolingo, you know. I still need to do my Arabic Duolingo. I finished my Spanish book that I really wanted to finish this week because that was important to me. And then I watched the first episode of a Chinese drama called Three Body. And this is a book series that I have read before. And I knew that they were adapting it, and also Netflix is adapting it, but two different things. So the Chinese one is out. The Netflix one is coming out in March, I think. But I knew that was happening and I wanted to watch it, but then I had completely forgotten about it. And Victoria at Study Notepad reminded me that, not like personally, but she had it on a list that reminded me to watch it. And so I watched the first episode and it was really interesting. Like, so far it seems very, very faithful to the book from what I remember. It's been years since I read the book, but yeah. So I do want to watch that. And then I saw that on the site it's on is Viki and Rakuten, Viki, whatever. And I saw that they do have some learn mode Chinese dramas, so I will probably try to do one of those eventually as well. But I really need to find some like first resource to use for Mandarin because I don't have anything right now. And I think for now I'm just going to stick with Duolingo for Arabic, just for learning the alphabet. I also, this is what I'm saying with catching the bug, I downloaded The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in Portuguese, and it is on YouTube. Like, someone has read it on YouTube. And so I think I'm going to start that because ever since I started this week, and to some extent before that, but especially this week, my Instagram is really convinced that I speak Portuguese and so has been showing me a lot of Portuguese content. And so it's been really fun, you know, and doing Duolingo has been fun. Like, I really understand how people end up learning like clusters of languages because it's just so enticing when you already understand so much. Yeah, and I love the way Portuguese sounds. I've always loved the way that Portuguese sounds. And I was kind of holding off to learn it because I didn't want to mix it with my Spanish, but I'm hoping that I am far enough in Spanish now that won't happen. We'll see. And I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like for sure 100% learning Portuguese, but a little bit here and there could be fun. Anyway, I'm gonna watch my French stuff now and maybe do some Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe after that. Okay, so I got the idea, and then my Instagram people enabled me to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe again in French, Portuguese, and Catalan. French and Portuguese, there's audiobooks online. Catalan, I could not find any audiobook for, so I'm using the text-to-speech on my phone, which works pretty well, except that it's very difficult to get it to do the correct language. So I changed my phone to Catalan temporarily to, I'll have to change it back every time. But it has been interesting to see what the settings are called in Catalan. But anyway, the reason I can't do it on my iPad is that my iPad is older and the iOS that it has does not have Catalan. Anyway, all that to say, we're gonna do Catalan, La Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe now.
La Lucy fica el nas en un armari. Una vegada hi havia 4 criatures que es deien Peter, Susan, Edmund i Lucy.
Guys, the dabbling spirit may have rotted my brain, but look at what I remembered that I have. The Chronicles of Narnia, or, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in German. And so I was like, should I read this in German also? I ran into a wrinkle in the plan because there does not appear to exist an audiobook for this particular translation. I had gotten my teeth set into this, and so after much searching, I found an ebook of the translation that an audiobook exists for. So we're gonna try to read it. I haven't done any German in literal years, but we're gonna give it a try. So it's Monday, by the way. Technically, the week has passed, but I had the day off because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and so I just decided to keep going because I couldn't really do that much yesterday. I had stuff going on, so I'm going to try to read this, and I'm going to read my other copies of this. Do I want to try to get all of them to chapter 4, like read 3 chapters in all of them? I think so. I think we're gonna try that and see how that goes. I'm trying to figure out the order, so I think of these, the language that I understand the best right now is French. Catalan is harder, I think, for me right now than Portuguese, which is very weird, but partially it's the robotic voice. Ordinarily, when I'm all on the same page, I think I'm gonna go French, Portuguese, Catalan, German. Start with the easiest, go to the hardest. Okay, take back what I said earlier. I definitely understand Portuguese better than French. They're close, but yeah, definitely when I have the audio and the text, Portuguese much more. Okay, that actually went so much better than I expected it to for some reason. So we have the first 3 chapters done in all 4. I still struggle the most with Catalan. remembered a lot more in German than I thought I would. You know, obviously still there's tons of words that I don't know, and a lot of the words I only like vaguely remember, and because I know the story and because I've just read this chapter, I know what it means, but you know, still, I am excited. I feel like by the time I read all 17 chapters, I may have gotten sick of this project and I may drop, you know, 1 or 2 of the languages. We'll see though. Hopefully, for now, I'm still enjoying it. So yeah. So I'm going to do my apps. So I need to do my Arabic alphabet. I might do Catalan and Portuguese on Duolingo if I feel like it. And I'm going to do Hello Chinese as well. And then we're going to call it, because it is like after 8 p.m. That took me like well over an hour to do all of those chapters. So hello. Okay, so we have reached the end of the week. It took me a while to like get into this week because I was so busy, and yeah, but this was so fun actually. Like I don't know, it was kind of like, I guess I was worried that like I wouldn't have fun with it, or I don't know, but yeah, it was really fun. So over the course of this week I found shows to watch in Brazilian Portuguese and Mandarin. If you're interested in the Mandarin show, Victoria at Study Notepad is doing a show watch along with it basically on her Substack. So definitely check that out. I think that will be really fun. Then I also started apps for studying Arabic and Mandarin. Because I still don't know which one of those I want to do, or whether I want to try to do both of them in the future. I really don't know, but I'm going to try to keep doing a little bit in both of them just to kind of dip my toes in. And then I started my reading project for some reason. Getting back into German, French, Portuguese, and Catalan. I don't know. I don't think that I will study these seriously, but like Portuguese and Catalan, like I could probably start reading now. You know, I could definitely start reading now in Portuguese. Catalan is more difficult, but I may just try to consume media in them. I'm not necessarily that interested in speaking them, because pretty much people could speak to me in those languages that I could speak back in Spanish, but I would really like to be able to understand them really well and be able to consume media. So I don't know, side project maybe, side quest for the year, we shall see. I didn't get to do anything in Basque, which I did really want to do, but I didn't end up getting to it, so maybe in the future we'll try that. But yeah, so if you did any dabbling, definitely let me know in the comments how it went. I will link the people that I know that participated in this and shared about it online. I will link that in the description box, so definitely check those out. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to call your politicians, email everyone, boycott, and free Palestine.